The vocabulary for section 6.1 is dealing with percents, and the base unit is always going to be over 100 in a percent. The word percent means by the hundred. It comes from the Roman word percentum, which they used to collect taxes, and they'd always base it on 100 things, and they would tax you on how many of the 100 you had, and that would be your tax rate. So we still use that today. So percents always go over 100. I also like to think of percents a little bit as the part out of the whole. So as we're looking at our homework a little bit, if we had problem 7 here, we have 62 of 100. I'm going to write that into the fraction form here. So I have 62 over 100. And we can always think of percents as percents out of 100. So this one's already set up. If we have 62 out of 100 here, we're going to have 62 out of 100 on this side because they're equivalent. And once it's over 100, we can think of it as a percent. So as long as it's out of 100, we can just simply add the percent sign to the number. So 62 out of 100 becomes 62%. Number 8, right next to it, same type of a deal. 62 per, they're writing it just a little different way. It means the same. So 52 out of 100 is what percent out of 100? Well, again, if it's already over 100, I just simply move it over, and we have 52%. Well, what if it's not out of 100? Let's say it's number 11, where I have 28 per 50. Okay, so 28 is going to go over 50, but percents go over 100. So what do I need to do to the 50 to make it 100? Well, times it by 2. Do it to the bottom, do it to the top. So 2 times 50 is 100. 2 times 28 is 56. And we're a percent, so we're done. You can also cross multiply and divide. You're going to get your same answer. So let's go moving down the page a little bit. Problem number 17. We have 13 to 10. So we set it up in our fraction form. Again, percents are going to go over 100. Again, what do we need to do to 10 to get to 100? We need to times it by 10. Do it to the bottom, do it to the top, and we have 130. The number is larger. We don't reduce though. Percents can be larger than 100. That's okay. We just leave it alone. Let's do another one. 21. We have 30 to 12. Okay, so 30 over 12, 100. Well, 12, I'm not sure exactly what I need to multiply to get 12 to make 100, so let's just use our cross multiply and divide method. So we're going to take 100 times 30, so 100 times 30, and I'm going to equals divide by our odd guy out here, our last number, and we would get 250. And then once it's over the 100, we add the percent, and there's our answer. Let's do one more. 27. We have 70 per 80. Again, writing it that little different way, but it means the same. 70 over 80. We're looking for 100. 80 doesn't go into 100 really easy, so let's cross multiply and divide. So I have 70 times 100 equals, divided by 80, gives us 87.5%. It's okay to have a decimal percent. That's okay. We can write it that way. Or we notice that this is 5/10, and 5/10 is really a half. We could also write it this way and be just as fine, perfectly acceptable, not a problem at all. Let's do another one of those. Let's look over here maybe at 37. So we have 129 to 400. So we have 129 in fraction form over 100. Percents go over 100. Let's cross multiply and divide. So we have 129 times 100 equals, we're going to divide by 400. We would have 32.25%. Again, we can change this if you want. So 32.25%. Well, 25 hundredths can be reduced to 1/4, correct? So we could have 32 1/4%. Either way is fine. Whatever you want to do, I'll accept both answers. So go slow and easy. Percents always go over 100. Again, I like to think of it as part out of the whole. Percent over 100. Cross multiply and divide, and you'll be just fine.